gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, for your entertainment value, live directly here at Crystal Gardens for one night only, Fred to pump this body. Shake it, shake it.
In a faraway land across the ocean sea, after World War II in Germany, a baby girl was born. She wasn't late on the 25th of March in 48. The city was Nuremberg, famous for trials. Her mom worked there, keeping track of files. The U.S. Army was her dad's game, but everything paused. There was a baby to name. Her mom was tall, her dad was stronger. The baby needs a name, couldn't wait much longer. For both sides of the family, she was the firstborn, so a strong name was needed. Her parents were torn. Elfrida Gertrude was her grandmother's name. Eleanor Drusilla was her mom. They quickly decided those weren't great picks because in the school she would bomb. They knew she wouldn't be a tiny girl, so Susie and Tina wouldn't do. Frederica Fred Ward soon became her name, much better than a boy named Sue. Over the next several years, they traveled a lot. I guess you could call her an army brat. The family of three soon came before, and over the years, there came even more. When Fred was in high school, they again crossed the ocean. Fred was sick a few days because of the motion. For 3 solid years, northern Italy was home, where Fred and her girlfriend were able to roam. Every summer, they would take a trip. Two American girls wouldn't take any lip. From Florence to Pisa to Rome, they would lope. In fact, one summer, they met the Pope.
Shake it, baby, shake it.
Two things happened in '66. Fred graduated high school, they moved to the Sticks. The city was Joppatown near Aberdeen. The state was Maryland. Not a bad scene. In 1967, Fred and Dad left the Army to work for Ford Motor to support the family. So they all packed up for peace and quiet and moved to Detroit in time for the riot.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it. Go.
The following year, in '68, she met husband number one on a blind date. They fell in love quickly and soon got married. A few weeks later, a baby she carried. Later in '69, with very much joy, Fred gave birth to a big baby boy. But then in '70, tragedy struck. Her husband died. Such bad luck.
Shake it, baby, shake it.
So for several years, it was mother and son. Fred worked real hard, but still had some fun. She was a computer room supervisor in '73. Many men she worked with, she was happy, you see. One in particular, his name was Tom. Fred liked him a lot. He was the bomb. For several months, they were side by side, but he never asked her out. She cried.
Shake it, baby, shake it.
So to Fred's 50s party, he was invited. He loved that music. He was so excited. To her house, he showed up looking for fun. Little did he know he was the only one.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it.
So they dated and married in '75, and once again, Fred felt alive. In '77, during the month of May, a daughter was born. What a happy day.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it.
But after 9 long years, Tom dearly departed, leaving Fred once again brokenhearted. So then now they were just a family of three. Things weren't always as you could see. Fred continued to work hard and didn't go out. At times it was lonely, she wanted to shout. Finally, one of her friends, let's take a chance. I want to take you to a singles dance.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it.
So they went to a hall. It was supposed to be fun. Fred wanted to stop and turn around and run. So she sat for a while and perused the floor and saw a tall man standing by the door.
Yeah.
After some time, Fred got up the nerve and walked to the man. He didn't swerve. They talked and talked for a real long time. Fred was so happy because this man was fine.
Fine as wine.
Sunday said, "I have to slumber," and he handed her a card with his business number. So Fred gave her a number, but was taken aback. She was very concerned about what she may lack. She heard not a word week after week. A phone call from him was all she did seek. Finally, she decided that this was too hard, so to his work, she sent him a birthday card.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it. Go.
Was it his birthday? She didn't know, but he opened the door with her little toe. A few days later, he finally did call, and they met for the first time at the Fairlane Mall.
Fairlane Mall.
2 long years, they continued to date and finally got married in '88. They both had kept jobs and traveled a lot, probably the reason they rarely fought.
Ooh, fight.
After 30 years working for old Ma Bell, Fred retired 99 to rest for a spell. After a couple of months, she became bored and applied for some jobs. One was at Ford. So during the day, over the next 5 years, she was a substitute teacher without any fears. Then on nights and weekends, it was quite uncanny. She repossessed cars. Repo Granny.
Repo man, repo girl, you gotta go and yeah.
Eventually, things got a little too rough. She wanted a job that was really less tough. So in 2010, using paper and ink, she applied to Toys R Us and Measurement Inc.
Yeah.
She worked both jobs. It was really pleasant. She continued to work from then until present. So in 2014, without any warning, number 3 died. She was back in the morning.
Oh. Shake it, baby, shake it.
So now in 2018, Fred lives alone, ready for some fun. But how does she find a number 4 without him feeling numb? Her friends keep saying the internet is really the way to go. But Fred has trouble with her cell phone. Her computer skills are slow.
They are. Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it.
There's Match.com in our time and one called Plenty of Fish. But hundreds of profiles out there, which one's the perfect dish? Perhaps it's best to look around and leave it up to fate and call upon her bag of tricks to find the perfect date.
Shake it, baby, shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it.
But how do I know so much about Fred? Some may want to know. Because I'm in Fred and that's my life. It wasn't just for show. So here I stand in all my glory. That's the end of my life story.
Shake it, baby, shake it.